right, welcome to the American Movie Podcast. This is your host, Matthew Benjamin. What's cracking? Okay, just saw The Dark Tower. It was... Okay, this is going to have mixed results, definitely with the reviewers and all the critics and everything. This is going to be mixed. It's going to be a mixed bag because there's two types of people. The people who read all the books and spent all of that time and got absolutely immersed inside the world. And then there's people like me who have not read the books whatsoever. I'm not even sure if I can read. So I'm just kidding. I've not read any of the books. So there's those two type of people. And this movie was just okay. It was just all right. The only things I have a difficulty grasping was just the runtime, the pace. It was just really, really lean. It was a lean movie. Like there wasn't that much time. It's a runtime of, I think it's an hour and a half, and that's not enough to get 8 books involved. So, which I understand, and you're there to see the movie anyways, and it's just a rendition. It's not going to be verse by verse, chapter by chapter, and I get that, and I enjoyed this movie. It was just okay, though, and the only reason why was because of the pace, and the performances were extraordinary. I thought Idris Elba, exceptional. God, he's so handsome on screen. He did a great job. He's very, he's just rugged, and the gunslinger needs to be rugged, and okay, here's the plot summary as well. Okay, so Jake Chambers, who is played by, what is his name? It's Tom Taylor. Tom Taylor, and Jake Chambers is this young boy, and he's having premonitions. And it's coming in the form of dreams, and he's sitting there, and he keeps having these reoccurring dreams, and then he starts to draw them so he can actually get them on paper, so he can actually look at them and try and formulate some sort of idea of what's going on. He's like 14, and he did an exceptional job as well. He carried this movie very, very well. I mean, it was in between Idris Elba, which I think it was centered upon, but he did a great job too. So it's about this little boy. He's getting premonitions, and he keeps seeing this dark tower. Dun, dun, dun. And he sees the gunslinger, and he sees this man in black who is played by Matthew McConaughey. And he is the protagonist. He's pure anathema, and he's just this overall bad dude. And the Dark Tower is pretty much this... It's holding all of the universe together. Bear with me here. So it's holding... There's multiple worlds, and there's multiple, just environments where people live, and they don't know how many there are, but this Dark Tower holds them all together. And then what's outside of this universe is pure evil. And Matthew McConaughey wants to disrupt all of the worlds and bring in that pure evil into all of the worlds and wreak havoc and bring the apocalypse. There's actually a funny line in there that I thought was really, really cheesy. It was Hollywood cheesy at its finest. It was he was going through this portal, as one would, and he said, "Enjoy your post-apocalypse," and he just walked through the thing. And I was like, it would have been worse if he would have walked into it and then clicked his link in and then jumped in. So it was like, oh, okay, that took me out of it. But besides that, Matthew McConaughey did an awesome job. And he's charismatic on here, and he's just like pure diabolical, and he's a megalomaniac, and he's just really, really this overall bad dude. So he did a great job in it. And the Gunslingers is this type of group that has this great power of being able to shoot guns with pure accuracy and defeat pretty much anybody who comes across them. So there was this final huge battle, and all of them were wiped out except for like 2, and Idris Elba is one of the last remaining gunslingers, and he's invulnerable to the magic of the Man in Black, who the Man in Black can pretty much just cause any emotion on anything or anyone whenever he says it. And so he's like shame or fear or hate, and he could just put him or stop breathing or whatever. He can do whatever he pleases to pretty much anybody besides Jake Chambers' little boy, and then Idris Elba. And so yeah, I'm not going to get into spoilers or anything, but that's the breakdown. And Jake, yeah, he's seeing all these premonitions, and he's trying to figure out if this is actual real life, and he's trying to connect with just what these visions actually mean. and he's having dreams of this. This was actually one of the coolest parts of it, I thought, was this humongous underground group of the skin people that he saw. And it sounds so silly, but it was actually really cool. It's this underground group that is pretty much the henchmen of the Man in Black, and he sends out feelers or whatever to try and get the most pure young children so they can use their abilities that they're born with, so they can actually kill the Dark Tower. So he's trying to find all these young children. Jake happened to be one of them. He blah 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 blah. I don't want to get into it, but it is overall, it seemed like Sony just wanted to get a safe movie out. It was just a safe movie. It was very good. Like, it was good. I was entertained the entire time. I had no high expectations. I didn't think it was going to be horrible with the star-studded cast that they had with Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. So I walked away with, all right, that was cool. But it wasn't, I wouldn't have like huge expectations with it, just because, you know what, Sony just didn't want to double down. Like, they could have made it. They could have made it 2 hours and 45 minutes and then thrown Jack Black in there, and there could have been some fuckery afoot. Like, that could have fucked around with it, and it would have been a travesty and like this horrible movie, and people would have been outraged. But I think I went with two people who had read the books all the way through, and they just they were a little let down. But I would say that they had high expectations when there's so much content in one book, and it's 8, and so you just have to. It's got to be a rendition that's actually applicable for the medium that you're watching. So they were a little let down with it. But overall, if you just walk into it with an open mind, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. But yeah, it was the overall narrative of coming to be inside the world. So Idris Elba, he reaches the material world. He's in his world, and then he's rising, and he goes into the material world, and he sees all of the material things, and then he has to come back and decide if he's going to stay in the material world or go back to who he is as a person and to be a man. So it's like that. It's that narrative. So overall, I enjoyed it. Yes. So yeah, performances were amazing. And the CGI was good. Fight scenes were cool. I would say, just if you enjoy fight scenes, there were some badass moments in this. So yeah, I would check it out if you like that. It was very much if you were playing a video game and you had the cheat codes and you could not die, it's pretty much who Idris Elba is. So he was just hanging out and he's just hanging out and just not missing, pretty much. And there were some badass scenes. So just for that sake, I enjoyed it. So yeah, that was my take on the Dark Tower. Yeah, the pace. That was the only thing. It was very thin, it was a lean movie. So it's just like, yeah, short, quick, whatever. So yeah, I enjoyed it. So feel free to check it out if you'd like. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Matthew Benjamin with the American Movie Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Onnit. Anything you need for cognition or exercise or just overall health, they've got it. So feel free to check that out if you want. I highly recommend their stuff. They've got awesome products that I use all the time. And they've got everything you need. And then this is also brought to you by Forever Lean. You can use the code AMP and get 20% off their workouts. This podcast is also brought to you by Audible. You could go to audibletrial.com/American and get a free audiobook and free 30 days. Feel free to check it out, and then you can cancel the subscription if you'd like, and you get to keep the book. Also brought to you by CyberGhost. Dude, okay, VPNs are going to be very important. I know you don't want to see what I'm looking at. I know you don't want people to see what you're looking at, so feel free to check out CyberGhost. It is a VPN, and if you don't know what a VPN is, all it is it encrypts your internet, and that's about it. So you're just protected whenever you search something. It's encrypted, so no one can see what you search or anything like that. And just with if you want to keep some privacy and just do that, feel free. I think they actually have free trials you can check out, so you don't even have to purchase anything, so you can get a test run. But yeah, it just protects you, and from like marketers and stuff like that. So feel free to check that out as well. So yes, this has been Matthew Benjamin with the American Movie Podcast. Thank you so much for watching. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Let me know what you thought about this movie if you saw it, or if you're thinking about seeing it, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, 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 bye. Ciao.